A new presentation is neither a religion, a spiritual teaching, nor a philosophy, nor is it even metaphysics. Well, I understand that all these are human labels. So, what is the new presentation? Someone may ask. Someone asks you. It's not all. It's not this. Any of these things. It's not a religion. It's not a spiritual teaching. It's not a philosophy. It is not metaphysics. So what is it?
What would you say it is, Charles, from your experience so far? What would you say?
Well, I would say it's just it's a reference on the how to get to become more aware and to recognize the true reality life is, and get out of this prison planet and into the real universes, so that there should be no reincarnation in this within creation anymore.
Yeah, that's a goodie. That's the basic idea. The old ideas, which had their day. They're fine, like we were talking about here, belief and unfoldment, spiritual, whatever, realization and all these things. They had their day. They were really references in creation is what they really were. And they kind of needed to be more defined because they were thought to be absolute. So yes, what you said it's terrific. You can only say it a certain way, and that is created a reference, a presentation on how to become more aware and of the all-natural environment, the true reality, the all-natural environment that supports all of us. It's really that. And so people will think according to their experience. You have to learn to be objective. This is one of the things that I suggest practicing. When you're talking to people who are going to get into a situation, use your imagination first of all, and then your intuitiveness will start to come in, and that is kind of pretend that you're them and that you're seeing you through their eyes and what they have experienced, because that's what they're going to give you. They're going to give you their experience. And so, of course, you have to understand that they're not going to know what you're talking about, because here are people that don't even know what they're talking about, you see. And Val experienced this at the college by the very fact of the words that they used and referenced and what they did and demonstrated, creating accusations out of nothing and thinking that these things are real and standing behind them and not even knowing how to define them. So again, you see what you have to deal with. So it's not an expectation that all of a sudden people are going to understand what you're saying. They're not going to understand that at all, because again, this isness reality, it's of a particular, so we can't even really go there. So we're going to make the first statement just to say something, aren't we? So there's our statement, and you've given them the statement. What I do is I give them the statement like this about becoming more aware about the all-natural environment supporting all of us, And see, that really entails the isness and all that, but you don't see it in that statement. You have to learn to see it. And so this is where we present it, and that's the best we can do. And just like the counselor at the college, when you want to get your major or get your career or whatever, etc., it can't give you, every lesson and detail of the course. You can just kind of hint at it, is all. Create some kind of reference to it. Can't give you the course. And so, each person has to decide if they want to go further. That's where the new books come in. Well, it's like we'll send you a book, or you can purchase one of the books, or whatever the idea is for that moment. So yeah, I always try and simplify it, because otherwise it really becomes like here, it becomes like a lot of talk, and then people are lost. You have to see it from their position. Almost anything that you're going to say, I see it too when I'm going to deal with people or situations. I see that almost it won't matter what I say. I can say any word at all. It won't matter what I say. It won't make any difference. So, I just kind of smile and wave, and it's like, okay. So when they get the urge or the inkling or whatever, this is where the projects come in, because it's so important. The demonstration is very important of things. It really is. We've gotten lost in the literal self. This is why I continually put out there about the projects and the support of the projects, because it's what we're demonstrating that matters. This is where the new school, the university, the vessel projects, etc., it's all complete on the real side. And so who will have the courage to step up and demonstrate these things, put it together in some way, make sense of it, create value? I have certain things that are allowing me to gain the funding, and I've created value with those to where now people want what I have, you see? And so just like the new presentation, as I've created this, I've created it of a particular, and yes, it's really kind of off the wall, it is, and it's we do have the courses and whatever the true course is, but realistically, it's the adventure of collecting things and putting it together, and just like going out there and hiking like Val does and whatever, it's seeing what comes up next, but there's so much to what we're doing, so yeah, what you said is fine, Charles. That's the best you can do. And then you kind of say nothing, and you kind of look at them and maybe smile and see what they're going to do. Yeah, that's all. I'm no longer, when I was with the corporation for the longest time, yeah, it was more of a sales pitch is what it was. Because I was having experience, and so I was trying to, in a way, sell people on, well, this is what you can do and whatever. And as I was in the earlier days putting the classes together and what have you, and then finally when people got in and started having their own experiences, yeah. But today it's a little different. I see it a little different, and that is that because this is a big step. It's not like MLM and they just getting people involved and let's all be let's all be giggling, whatever, and which we are, but it's a more so position. It's a bigger position, and the world is a hard place, and the routines that people have, they're hard. They're hard to deal with, and it's really a choice. It's a big choice to want to be real and have a real purpose and all this, and it takes time to really figure this out. To be honorable with what life is, not what you think in your mind. You think you know something, yes. See, again, this is where people have their little ideas, and they put themselves before life itself. Before, I put life first. I'm just a view. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Harry puts himself before life. The president, the queen, the pope, yeah, they're bigger than life. They're nothing, And because no, life is the awesomeness. It supports everything. They support themselves in their own mind. And that's fine. They have that right, just like I have the right to decide what I do. So what you said there, young man, is fine. And so you decide your adventure. You decide what you're going to do in accordance with what your lifestyle is. How you can bring everything in your life. This is what I see. Every little thing that comes by me. How can I bring that around and evaluate it, we'll say, in a sense that it refers to this true reality? You see? Instead of letting it just be a dead thing, like the process of education. Yeah, and Val dealt with that, and we all dealt with that, and we're dealing with it. And so we're going to educate them. And we, for the fun of it, we get to be compensated. That's the whole idea, just like they do. So again, we play along the lines of what's taking place in the world, bring it around, because this is why we're here. So we choose whatever, and I see these opportunities becoming very interesting, and let's see how people take things. But you know what? All of a sudden, we can have a little breakthrough here, and those people that that are really looking for something real, all of a sudden they wake up. That's the best thing, is to see them wake up, because that is the true reality, shining through them. It's not that, God picks you or whatever the old idea is. Yeah, it's so. The boys do. They give people a chance. They do pick everybody here. They picked me, and they picked everybody because they have the awareness to do so. But when it comes to the isness, you have to learn to allow this reality to be present within you. You have to do that. And so that's a decision, that's your adventure, how you're going to bring it around. So, yes, that's the basics with the new presentation. And the new presentation is exactly what it is. It is basically here in the physical sense. It is a one-dimensional, it's a business front is what it is. But that's not all there is to it. Just like the Bank of America out there is the business front, and that's the new presentation. But what supports the new presentation here is the reference to the all-natural environment and becoming more aware. So we learn to see the sign on the wall, the sign on the front of the building, as opposed to what's going on inside the building and even in back of the building and down the street and around the world, whatever it is, and then out into the sky and in the cosmos, whatever. There's always more to it, isn't there? But this world we're in is in a shrink wrap. It really is all shrink wrap. Let's just stay stuck to the earth, and whatever happens here, this is business as usual. It really is. So destroying the all-natural environment on the earth is business as usual. So now again, what you said there, Charles, and without getting into a whole lot, but I define this for everybody as one way of looking at it. It is not the way. There's many ways. But just keeping it simple like that. And then allowing the individual really realistically, wholeheartedly, and intently, and honorably, let them make the choice. Let them make the choice. And it's like, yeah. So that's the fun part, to see if they will take the risk. This is where the risk taker comes in. So again, with that statement, I may add that, but this is only for risk takers, real risk takers. And so it's not for everybody. But whatever. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, Duane, you've dotted the I's and cut the T's. In fact, because one would have been lost in a wealth of words to explain what the new presentation is. But now I think I've got it very refined. In fact, and I wish the larger audience out there would hear what you've said. In fact, it cuts through the chase and simplifies things. Because even though we are out to help people with the new presentation, to become more aware, to wake up, yet there are some baffling questions about it, which would throw many people off track. And I'm glad that you've made things very precise and added that should make it brief and make it even a challenge to others. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Let me just say real fast here that, and I don't know if it's going to be fast or not, but the word challenge is very interesting. Let's go there. And I see this as very important. And because the world is like it is, basically people have gotten in the mode that they want things laid out for them, that it's to be all laid out, explained, and whatever. And I've come up across this many times, to where people are thinking that, well, it should be like this. It should be steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I see with what is taking place, because life is an endlessness, and what I like is just like in my business when I did it, I liked the challenge. I would go out on many appointments, and I would, see the difference, and I knew the other people that were coming there, they would get bids from and whatever, and I would have a conversation with the people that I would be dealing with. Sometimes they'd actually ask the salesman to leave because they were so rude, and I get that because I worked for Sears for a while, and I worked in the sales industry, and I learned what not to do. That's what I learned. I had to see that so I could see what they're doing too. So the idea of challenge, okay, and I bring this up all the time, and that is that very few people will take on the challenge of what life really is. In other words, they want it all laid out for them. They just want to follow a system. They just want to fit into it. And then they can go off in their personal life and have their la-la land. Well, that's fine, but that will only last so long because of what the world is doing. You need to pay attention or you don't. So the challenge to see what's really taking place here, and the challenge, the courage, like the movie Braveheart with Mel Gibson, was to, the situations were such that everybody was being imprisoned and mind-framed, etc., and physically restricted. So he decided to take on the challenge. I'm not saying it's the best, he had the best idea. So we have the challenge of doing it without the violence, without the rebellion, and demonstrating, going in the streets, carrying signs and whatever. But if we do, it's of a particular. A little bit of that in the corporation where they did little parades and stuff like that. Okay, it's kind of like the Gay March or whatever, etc. As I look back, I didn't take part in these things. I wasn't interested. I was doing plenty of stuff, and I thought, I really don't want to be in a parade carrying Darwin's or Harry's picture, etc. So, but other people did. So, again, so we do it in our own way. So here's the challenge: yes, to creatively take what's available. Just like you could say the new presentation is like the Home Depot. And that is that you've got all the pieces there. Can you take it and put something together that makes sense with the world so the world can better understand what's going on with itself, and even more so than that challenge. Yeah. Will you do it? Go ahead, Charles.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say something about spirituality. Spirituality is supposed to be something, in our estimation, lower, unworthy of our attention. Yet it has some worthy aspirations, as this Zen Buddhist master, Thich Nhat Hanh, he says. He's a well-revered teacher who says something about spirituality. He says, spirituality is not a religion. It is a path to generate happiness, understanding, and love, so we can live deeply every moment of our life. Having a spiritual dimension doesn't mean escaping life or living in a place of bliss outside of this world, but discovering ways to handle life's difficulties or challenges and generate peace, love, happiness, right where we are on this beautiful planet. He calls it a beautiful planet, but we know it is a prison planet. Now, Duane, it would seem that the goal of spirituality is to create some, from what Thich Nhat Hanh has said, what he says about spirituality, it seems it's out to create a perpetual golden age on earth. And I want to think that the worldwide educators also wish to transform in a manner this present planet by making humanity know that a golden age can be created right here and now by becoming more aware. So what I wonder is whether spirituality is not an unseen adjunct of the new presentation. It even seems that one has to be spiritual in order to grasp what the new man is presenting in the new nowness. So what do you say about this, Duane?
First of all, I'll say real fast your last statement. So where are all the spiritual people that do grasp anything I say? And I get it. And he's right. But then again, is that all there is? You see? Everybody's right. Everybody's okay. But is that all there is? So it's just to be happy. Well, I see a lot of people, they're walking around with their cell phones and whatever, and they're happy, they're fine. Hey, everything's fine. They're awake. They're all these things, all right, etc. And it's interesting when you look at this. You can look at it so many different ways. And so when we look at it a particular way, according to the world, okay, so that's according to the world. And yes, we are doing our own thing here and going along these lines too. Sure, we want to be happy, cheerful, and all these things. But we see that these are things that we create, and they are not the absolute. That becomes the difference. So look at how he refers to this, etc. And so, and you could take it in any content. All right, you can take it in any content at all. And so is there more than that reference? And so you have all these things that are occurring and have always occurred in creation. You know, the happiness, the pleasures, the this or that, the mindfulness, and doing things supposedly right on earth, and all these things. And basically it's usually referring to, you know, with the culmination of all that, what's it referring to usually? Some God or Savior, isn't it? Does he refer to a God or Savior, Charles?
No, it refers to no God or Savior.
Yes, spiritual idea.
Yes, a spiritual idea.
Okay. And so, again, respectfully, everybody has their experiences. And I'm not saying it's not this or that. But in this world of reference, we're dealing with reference here, and everybody has their experience, which is fine. And who knows, this could be one of the boys, which is fine. And he's doing his thing along those lines, yes. But I was picked, and he's could be up in the mountains or somewhere and saying whatever, and certain people will gather to him accordingly, because most people want a comfort zone, which I get. You know, the world is a hard place. They want a comfort zone. And so I was picked to do certain things of a particular, and it wasn't really that accordingly. So it's interesting. Yes, everything applies. But then again, you know, as I've decided this whole thing, here's an idea. Okay, so when I found out about the Orion Queen and Inky and whatever, and this is far out stuff, isn't it? Okay, so we got other planets going on here besides the Earth, and finding out that, you know, I knew about this stuff, but I really didn't define it and get into it because I was focused on this. Well, finding out about this through Miss Claudia and I, and then deciding to, okay, well, this equals this, and what Inky's done, and it's been around a long time, a lot of lifetimes, and has really screwed up the place. Whatever he did, it doesn't matter. The end result is we're living what it is from something that's been decided whenever. And so it's like, you know, enough's enough. And yeah, people have cause and effect karma, but at the same time, what they're doing is affecting us here. So I took the risk. I put in a request, and decided that, let's put her in the phantom zone. Okay, and guess what? Voila, it did happen. Oh yeah, there's a whole new thing going on, and we had to redo the council here recently too. I saw what's going on. They decided it, and Rebazar and Paul, they're backing it up. Rebazar has made a law on Orion. That is that anyone below 51% with their attitude against things is going to the phantom zone. It's automatic. And so again, it's this also on the earth too, believe it or not. So again, watch your attitudes, because yes, it's very real. Because enough's enough. All these people that are doing these things have huge karma, and people have the right to be not interfered with. They think they can do whatever they want. Well, no, we have the right to be not interfered. That was my idea, and again, it's taken place. So with all that's said, now that is in the physical sense, and so let's just say that this individual, what he says, it sounds nice. It's nice sayings, it's nice words, and it's all fine. But realistically, to get things done, you got to get things done. You're going to just sit and be happy and cheerful and say hi to your neighbors while the chemtrails are flying overhead, while you're breathing all the nanotechnology, eating GMO food, and HARP is on, and they're going to do 5G and everything else that's taking place, okay? You want to just continually be happy? Is that the focus, etc.? Well, fine. Make the choice. So, again, if you don't wake up to what's really going on a bigger scale, in other words, these individuals are here to wake up. And sometimes it's a shock. That's good too. It's not about happiness. Most people aren't waking up. They think they're awake. They're not waking up to just being happy. It's like, oh, gee, it's a great day, and I got a great job, and I'm off on the weekend, so I get to go to the beach. But Monday I got to go back to work. But I love my job, and I'm making a lot of money. Hey, these people are happy in their own way, but at the same time, they're agreeing through that happiness and that love and that affection and all those relationships, they're agreeing to the demise of the planet and who's doing what. So what is this guy doing, really? His choice. So that's what we're doing as worldwide educators. It looks like we're doing the same thing, but realistically, we're not. We're showing people how to really wake up and take a look at their agreements, not just agreeing to be happy. I look at the sun shining. Again, I don't see any of that there. But if I decide that I like the sun, or it's cute, or I feel good about it, fine. But, realistically, I like the indifference that the sun demonstrates. Boy, I really like that, because through that, I recognize what it's demonstrating and how it applies to the is. That's the best part that I have with my experience, and that is the challenge to always see what else there is and perceive what the is. That's what I love. I like that challenge. And it's so cool how it appears. You see, that's my relationship with it. And it's like I can almost feel this little smile with it, which is invisible, because again, I've decided to take the risk to see what it really is. And what it really is, whatever it is, I'm willing to accept that. You see? I am, without a mindset idea of thinking that I know what it is. Because I don't. But yet I do see it in my own way. So, with that said, and you can take that and compare it with what this fella said and see it from his point of view and look at his intent. Does he really know where he's at? Or is he just saying words that he learned from his master or whatever? You decide, Charles. Go.
Yeah, Duane, you've really drawn the line between what we are doing and what he's out to achieve, what he's preaching, he's telling people out there. And you've always said it, that we are not a spiritual path or anything. Just look at the what you've pointed out about the goals of spirituality. Helping people to handle life's challenges, which he even calls difficulties here. Challenges is what I have put in brackets. And generate peace, love, peace on earth, and love and happiness right here, right where we are, and on this beautiful planet. Now, you've said it. He knows nothing about the chemtrails, the GMO, the Wi-Fi, smart meters, HAP, and all the like that is polluting this planet. And he cares nothing about the all-natural environment, which extends from here right to the real universes. That is all of life. So he knows nothing about that. So I brought this up so that we can see the limitations of spirituality, which you have pointed out very clearly. It would seem that there is a similarity, but it is only implied. It's not evident at all. So thank you for that.